What if I told you one of America's most famous muscle cars is coming back in 2026? But this time, it's aiming to be the most affordable performance car you can buy. That's right. Dodge has revived the Dart Swinger, and it's not just about nostalgia. This car promises muscle at a price point that could shake up the entire market. But here's the real question. Does the new Dart actually live up to its legendary name? Or is it just another retro badge on a modern car? Stick around, because the answer might surprise you. When you think of Dodge, chances are your mind goes straight to big V8 engines, smoky burnouts, and classic American muscle. But every so often, Dodge throws us a curveball, and that's exactly what they've done with the return of the 2026 Dodge Dart Swinger. Once a familiar name from the golden age of Detroit performance, the Dart wasn't just about raw horsepower. It was about giving everyday drivers a taste of muscle car attitude without the sky-high price tag. Fast forward to today, and Dodge is betting big that the same formula can still work in a world where affordability and efficiency matter just as much as speed. So why is this such a big deal? Well, in a market flooded with crossovers, EVs, and high-priced sports cars, Dodge is reintroducing a car that dares to be different. The new Dart Swinger isn't just banking on nostalgia, it's aiming to bring back accessible performance for a new generation of drivers. It's a move that could either redefine what entry-level muscle means, or fall flat in the face of modern competition. Over the next few minutes, we're going to take a closer look at how this new Dart stacks up, its design, features, performance promises, and of course, whether it truly captures that old-school muscle car spirit. Because one thing's for sure, Dodge hasn't brought this name back just to blend into the background. The first thing you notice about the 2026 Dodge Dart Swinger is the design. Dodge hasn't gone retro copy here. They've taken inspiration from the past while shaping a car that looks sharp and modern. Up front, you get a bold grille that nods to classic muscle, but with sleeker LED headlights that give it a menacing, almost predatory look. The stance is low, wide, and aggressive, reminding you this isn't just another commuter car. It's meant to turn heads whether it's parked at a gas station or rolling up to a Friday night meet. Slide inside, and you'll quickly realize Dodge isn't just selling nostalgia. The cabin feels updated for the modern driver, with digital displays, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a surprisingly solid fit and finish for what's being pitched as an affordable muscle car. Sure, you won't find luxury car levels of refinement. Plastics are still there in places, but what you do get is an interior that feels functional, sporty, and refreshingly uncluttered. Dodge has clearly kept the focus on the driving experience rather than filling the car with unnecessary gimmicks. Performance, of course, is where things get interesting. Dodge offers the Dart Swinger with two main engine options: a turbocharged four-cylinder that delivers respectable power for daily driving, and a beefier V6 that aims to satisfy the enthusiasts. The four-cylinder keeps things efficient, offering highway mileage that makes it practical for commuters, while the V6 turns the Dart into something that actually feels like a true muscle car again. Punchy acceleration, throaty exhaust notes, and enough pull to put a smile on your face. And while Dodge hasn't gone crazy with horsepower numbers, it's clear they've found a balance between performance and affordability. The real question, though, is whether this balance is enough to stand out in today's crowded market. Handling-wise, the Swinger surprises. It's not the heavy, straight-line bruiser you might expect. Thanks to a lighter chassis and tuned suspension, it feels planted and nimble, especially on twisty back roads. No, it's not a track weapon, but it doesn't need to be. What Dodge has built here is a car that can still make your daily commute fun, without punishing you on long highway drives. It's an interesting mix. Accessible muscle with just enough sharpness to keep things engaging. Of course, it's not all perfect. Rear seat space is a bit tight, and while the trunk is practical enough for everyday use, this isn't the car you'd buy if you need family-level storage. Some will also argue that without a V8 option, it doesn't fully deserve the muscle car badge. Dodge seems to be betting that affordability and accessibility will matter more to this generation of buyers, but whether enthusiasts agree is another story. And that brings us to the big question: has Dodge nailed the balance? Or have they watered down a legend? Because the real shocker isn't just in the design or performance, it's in what this car will cost you. And that's where things get very interesting. And here's where things really come to a head. The moment we finally push the 2026 Dodge Dart Swinger to see if it lives up to the hype. Around town, it's quick and lively, but the real test is when you open it up on the highway and carve through some back roads. And honestly, this is where Dodge surprises everyone. The V6-equipped Swinger launches with a burst of energy that feels far beyond what the price tag suggests. The throttle response is instant. The exhaust note has just enough growl to make you grin, and the handling, light, sharp, and planted, proves this isn't just a nostalgia trip. It's fun, really fun. But here's the twist. While the Dart Swinger shows off real muscle car attitude, it doesn't deliver the brute force power of its bigger Charger and Challenger siblings. And maybe that's exactly the point. This isn't a car designed to win every drag race. It's a car designed to make the muscle experience accessible again. For many drivers, especially younger buyers or those new to the Dodge brand, this balance between performance, practicality, and price might actually be more exciting than raw horsepower alone. And then comes the real jaw-dropper, the price. Dodge has positioned the Dart Swinger at a level that massively undercuts most competitors in the sporty, compact, and entry-level performance market. In a time when nearly every new car feels overpriced, here's a machine that delivers genuine excitement without crushing your budget. That's something we haven't been able to say about American muscle in years. So, is this the rebirth of affordable performance? Or just Dodge cashing in on nostalgia with a clever badge? That's the million-dollar question, and the answer could change how you see this car entirely. So, after spending time with the 2026 Dodge Dart Swinger, what's the final verdict? Simply put, Dodge has managed to bring something fresh into a market that desperately needed it. On the plus side, you're getting eye-catching design, a driving experience that's genuinely fun, and most importantly, an entry price that makes performance accessible again. For younger buyers, first-time muscle enthusiasts, or anyone who's been priced out of the Charger and Challenger, this car is a chance to finally join the Dodge family without breaking the bank. But let's be real, it's not flawless. If you're expecting earth-shattering horsepower or the raw brutality of a V8, you won't find it here. The rear seats are tight, the interior materials aren't luxury grade, and some purists will argue that without a big engine under the hood, this isn't real muscle. Those drawbacks are worth noting, but they don't erase what the Swinger brings to the table: accessibility, balance, and the spirit of fun driving at a time when many cars feel bloated or overly sanitized. In the bigger picture, the Dart Swinger represents something more than just another car launch. It signals that automakers still see value in affordable, performance-oriented vehicles. And if Dodge's gamble pays off, it could spark a wider trend, bringing back the idea that driving excitement doesn't have to be reserved for high-income buyers or six-figure supercars. That impact could reshape how younger drivers think about muscle cars in an era where practicality and affordability usually win out over passion. So here's the question. Is the 2026 Dodge Dart Swinger the beginning of a new era of accessible American performance, or just a nostalgic experiment? I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you buy this car, or do you think Dodge missed the mark? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more reviews, and share this video with a fellow car enthusiast who needs to see what Dodge is up to. Because one thing's certain, the conversation about affordable muscle is just getting started.